G'day everyone, it's Alan here from Fishing Mad. In this video, I'm going to walk you through a step-by-step tutorial on how to create snapper rigs that are perfect when fishing in Western Port. Now these rigs are a little bit more complex than the ones I've shown you lately for Port Phillip Bay, and that's because Western Port has really strong currents, and those currents and water pressure changes as the tides do, and you need to be able to adjust your sinker weight according to what the conditions are at the time. And there's a few more steps involved, but I'm going to walk you through every stage of that process. Now the materials that you will need to create this rig is a 40-pound shock leader. You also need a 40-pound fluorocarbon leader. I've got two size 5/0 hooks. They're circle hooks that I like to use. One Lumo bead. Also got a barrel swivel with a 100-pound braking strain. We've got an easy rig slider. And we've also got sinkers in different weights that I will show you a little bit later. And the only tool that you're going to need to put all this together is just a decent pair of cutting scissors. So what we will do is let's start at the bottom of the rig where we do our hooks and our leader. So if you grab your fluorocarbon leader, so this is 40-pound, and what we're going to do is we're going to create about 1 full arm length's worth, and then we're going to grab our scissors and we're going to trim that away. What we're going to do at this point is we're going to grab our first 5/0 circle hook, and we are going to thread the leader through the eye of the hook, and we're going to attach this using a uni knot. So basically create a little V shape, turn that into a circle, okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to thread this tag end through that hole 6 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then what you want to do at this point is just lubricate, pull down on the line, and that's going to cinch into place absolutely perfectly. So pull that nice and tight, grab your scissors and just trim away that tag end. Leave a little bit of access, you don't need to go right to the edge of the knot. And that's step 1 completed. So what we're going to do now is we're going to create our snelled rig setup. So what you want to do is grab the opposite end of that fluorocarbon leader, grab your other size 5/0 circle hook, thread that through the eye, and what we're going to do is we're going to thread that all the way down that line. As usual, at this point what you need to do is make a judgment call on the distance that you want between the two hooks. Now obviously you're probably going to be using bait like a full silver whiting or a full pilchard, so you just need to sort of guess roughly how far you want it to be. And I know for me, I'm going to have that front end through the cheek of that bait, this one through the body, and then a couple of half hitch notches at the end. So that there looks about right to me. So what you want to do at this point is basically turn it so it's facing that way. You want to then bend this line down and wrap it behind the hook, and then start wrapping it around, okay? And we're going to wrap this around all the way until you get to the point of the hook, and that's usually anywhere between 15 to 20 wraps. Okay, so keep going. Okay, and then what you can see there is now that line is perfectly in line with that hook. So what we're going to do is you want to hold that tight, you don't want to let go of the tension. Grab the top end of that fluorocarbon leader, and you want to just thread it through the back of the eye of that hook, okay, and then thread that line all the way through. Okay, and at this point you should be able to pull really tight, and what you're left now is with that snelled setup like that, which is absolutely perfect. So what we're going to do at this point is grab that UV Lumo bead, and we're just going to thread that through, and all this is going to do is just add a little bit of attractant in the water because these do have a UV glow. And they've also got a really nice soft material, which is just nice to sit on top of the eye of the hook. Now all we do to finish off this snell is we are going to grab our barrel swivel, again 100-pound braking strain. Like we did at the start, we are going to thread that through, create a V shape like that, turn that into a circle, okay? And then what you want to do is grab the tag end and wrap that through both lines 6 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. Again, at this point, just lubricate line so you don't burn it when you're tight. Just tighten that up. That's going to cinch into place perfectly. Grab your scissors and you can trim away the tag end. Again, just leave a little bit there. So that's part 1 of our rig done. So you've got a barrel swivel with a 100-pound braking strain. Then you've got 1 full arm's length of 40-pound fluorocarbon leader, and at the end of that you have your UV Lumo bead and your double set of snelled rigs there, 5/0s. Okay, so that takes us to our next stage, and this is where we're going to have the shock leader that has the Easy Rig running up and down it. Now the reason why we do use a shock leader is because it's going to give us some extra stretch, and what you'll find is as that Easy Rig slider runs up and down the line, shock leader is just a stronger material, so it's not going to compromise and break that braid might do. So what we are going to do is we're going to grab, this time, about 2 arms length of shock leader. So I'm going to go 1, okay, and 2. Now again, this was 40-pound shock leader. Okay, so 2 arm spans. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cut that. And what we're going to do is we're going to tie this shock leader onto the barrel swivel and the leader that we've already created. Again, just using a uni knot. So we're going to thread that through. Okay, we're going to create that V again and then create a circle, and we're going to wrap that through 6 times again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, and then once again just lubricate, stop that line from burning as you tighten it, and then just tighten that. That will cinch into place perfectly. Again, grab your scissors, trim that tag end away, leaving a little bit of access. So now you can see, obviously we've got 2 lines attached to this barrel swivel now. So we've got that fluorocarbon leader which has the double snelled hooks on it, and then obviously we've got all this access line here. So once this rig is done, what you would do is you would just tie that to your braid using a double uni knot. Okay, and I've got plenty of videos on the YouTube channel and in our members area that shows you how to do that. So at this point, what we want to do is we want to grab our Easy Rig slider, and you want to just slide that onto the shock leader. Okay, so that's now free to roam up and down the shock leader there. Okay, now there's a couple of things that you could do at this point. If you wanted to take the real easy way, what you can do is you can have sinkers like these. Okay, so these are bomb sinkers, and they've got the, I guess, the swivel part there that makes them really easy to clip in and clip out. You can see I've got different sizes. I've got 3 grams, 6 grams, and obviously when I go out, carry 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 grams, depending on how strong that current's going to be. All you would need to do at this point is open up that Easy Rig slider, okay, thread that through, lock that back into place, and then what would happen now is that Easy Rig slider and that sinker can just move up and down the line. And what can happen is as that current gets stronger because of the tide change, you can up and down the weight of your sinker if you needed to. Now, there is one step further that you could take if you really wanted to take this to the next level. And what happens sometimes we find is if you do catch a really good sized fish, and in Western Port you might be targeting snapper and you might actually catch a decent sized gummy shark, is these sinkers have a habit of getting stuck on the bottom, and these rigs can get compromised. So what you can do is you can run a little bit of fluorocarbon leader off that Easy Rig, and it will allow for that sinker to break away if you do snag up whilst fighting a good fish. So the way that you would do that is, let's take away this sinker. Okay, the other thing that we do at this point is we'll actually unthread this part of the Easy Rig, the metal clip. We're not going to need that anymore. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to grab some fluorocarbon leader. So I've just got 15 pound. We want a really nice light strain, so that way if it does brush up against something or it gets stuck, it can break away easily. That's the whole point of it. Okay, and then all you want to do is you want to cut a reasonably small length that's about that size. Okay, so trim that away. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to thread this fluorocarbon leader through this part of the Easy Rig just here. Okay, so you're going to thread that through, and again tie that up with a uni knot. You don't have to do 6 wraps here. In fact, we would recommend doing a lot less. The whole point of this is that it can break away if you need to. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to do 2 wraps here. Okay, and then I'm going to tighten that up. Okay, so that will be able to break away nice and easily if it has to. Okay, trim that away. Okay, now at this point, the easiest thing to do is just to create a loop knot. And what that's going to do is allow you to attach your sinkers easily. So the easiest way to do that is just to double your line up like that. And then all you're going to do is create a circle. And then what you're going to do is wrap this end part through twice. So once and twice. okay, and just tighten, okay, and there's your loop knot there that you can easily change sinkers with, okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to trim that tag away at the top there, okay, and then what we can do is we can very easily thread sinkers again, because they've got that little swivel component there. You can just thread that in, okay, and wrap that sinker through like that. Okay, so let's run from the very start. So what we've got there is our snelled 5/0 hooks, okay, to a Lumo bead. Then we've got one full arm length of 40-pound fluorocarbon leader that goes to a 100-pound breaking strain barrel swivel. Then we've got 2 arm lengths of 40-pound shock leader, okay, and that's going to an Easy Rig slider. And sitting on the end of that Easy Rig slider is about 50 centimeters of 15-pound fluorocarbon leader, and that on the end of it has got a small loop knot that we can interchange sinkers very easily. And as we said, the only step that would be left here, which I'm not going to show you, which is very easy to do, is you would grab the end of this shock leader and you would tie that to your braid or your mono if you're using that, just using a double uni knot. And there's plenty of videos on our channel that shows you how to do that. And that there is a awesome snapper rig when fishing in Western Port. Guys, I hope that you've enjoyed this tip. If you do, then please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to go and check out our members area, which is www.fishingmad.com.au/member. There's heaps of cool rigging tips and workshops in there that take things to the next level. Anyway, guys, I hope to see you out at Western Port targeting some snapper really soon. Cheers.